Hi everyone, so I'm going to give you 5 comps that you can test out with the new set 4.5 on PBE. So the first one up is going to be Kayle. So here you have the standard 5 core units you need for this comp. What you add in depends a little bit on your chosen and what the lobby has, but I'll give you the first version, which is going to be Yon, Shen, and Xayah. So here you have the very standard 3 adept frontline, and you also have like the 2 mystics and whatnot. The way this comp works is you have the 3 executioners here. Kayle is your primary carry, but Kindred and Xayah can also do a considerable amount of damage. Morgana is in there as her ult shreds the MR of the enemy team, and all these executioners really like that. Yon likes that as well. He can also shred the armor and MR of the enemy team, so got a lot of utility with this team. The second variant of this is going to be Asir, Lee Sin, and Nasus. So this version is a lot more focused around Kayle. We got 4 Divine, that buffs up Kayle a lot. We also get 2 Siphoner, which is really good for Kayle specifically, because she'll be the one who's dealing the most damage, so she's going to heal back quite a lot. With this variant, you are pretty much always going to be, you're never going to go beyond 4 Divine unless you get a Divine Chosen or a Divine Spatula. And if you get that, you take out the Asir for the Jax to get your 6 Divine in. So now moving on to the items for Kayle, you pretty much always want 1 defensive item on her, which is going to be like either RFC or QSS Trapclaw. Those 3 are going to be the best. And your other 2 items want to be damage items, so Ginsu and Deathcap are really great. Also items like Morello can work, and Infinity Edge can work if you have a lot of executioners in, because then when the spells critically hit, and when they're below 66% health, the Infinity Edge is going to give you even more crit damage, so she's basically just going to shred through them. Now the next one up is going to be Olaf. Here you have Olaf here is your primary carry, and then you have a backup carry within Samira. All the other units are kind of just here to stall to let Olaf cast his spell, so that he actually can go crazy with his cleave, and he'll heal back up again quite fast with Slayer if he drops low, and you'll just get a crazy attack speed. The only other thing you can do here is if you get a Dragon Soul chosen, you can take out Pyke and Samira to put in both Swain and Aesol to get that 6 Dragon Soul. But this will, most of the time, you will require 1 lifesteal item on Olaf so that he can actually heal back up once he takes a bit of damage, because he is your primary carry here. So I definitely prefer the Slayer version, like so. Now moving on to the items for Olaf, you need 1 defensive item, which is going to be either RFC or GA. RFC is great because he's not going to take that much, he's not going to get CC'd at the start of the fight in most cases, and so he's going to stay safe until he gets to cast his spell. Same with GA, if he dies before casting, he's going to revive, and when he comes back, he's going to have ulted, and he's just going to heal back up again with Slayer. So once you have your defensive item, you want a offensive item. Deathblade is insanely good on him because his cleave hits multiple people. So even if he's bashing at a frontline unit, and if there's weak units behind, he's going to finish them off before he's even killed this frontline unit. So he gets a lot of value from Deathblade. Also, his spell lets him scale percentage-wise with his AD. So just getting a raw AD is really good for Olaf. The third offensive item can be like Ginsu, Giant Slayer is going to do fine, Infinity Edge is going to do fine, Last Whisper is going to do fine, even Bloodthirster or Hosh is going to do fine. You can also go with another version, which is going to be just IE and Last Whisper, like so. That's just going to super hard counter Vanguards, and he's going to basically be able to shred the armor of pretty much any unit and just run through them. Alright, so the next one up is Tryndamere. Here, he is your primary carry, and then we again have Samira as a backup carry, and Katarina can also carry a little bit if she pops off her spell. So Tryndamere, the main thing, since he's quite squishy, so 6 Warlord is pretty important for him to be able to get really tanky, and so he can heal back up with items and Slayers. Also, this build is not that flexible. If you get a Warlord chosen, you take out Garen to put in Lee Sin. And that's about it for things you can do with this build. There's not that many crazy things you can do. It's quite easy to play and quite straightforward. Now moving on to the items for Tryndamere, you really want QSS on him. I see some melee carry, and he's going to get CC'd by a lot of random crap like the Maokai CC and the Nautilus stun and whatnot. So QSS is really important so that he doesn't get stopped by that kind of stuff. And after that, you want 2 offensive items. He really likes AD stuff, so Hosh and Infinity Edge are great. Deathblade, again, can work on him, and even Runon's Hurricane I've seen do quite well. So the next comp is Xayah as your carry with the 6 Elderwoods. There are a couple of different variations you can run with this build. If you get an Elderwood chosen, you can drop Maokai and put in Kayle to get even more damage in. And also you can completely drop Elderwoods and go with 3 Elder instead. And with that version, you're pretty much always going to add in Kayle, and the other 2 units are going to be both Sejuani and Nautilus. Now this gives you an incredibly strong front line. Both Aatrox and Sejuani are going to pretty much just perma CC with Nautilus as well. That's going to let Xayah do a ton of damage when she's dealing her, when she's casting her spell in a cone like this. There's going to be a lot of units clumped up in this area, so she's going to get great value out of her spell. But if there are a lot of magic damage and not much AD damage, you can take out Nautilus and Sejuani. Then you can put in both Cillian and Shen, get some defense, magic defense. Now moving on to the items for Xayah, I really like this version where you have a Sojin and Rageblade and then IE to get some extra damage. Now this version is all about just letting her drop aggro multiple times in a row and just scaling off that Elderwood synergy and also scaling with Rageblade. You can also go with the more traditional AD carry path by going something like IE, a Last Whisper, and then either putting on like a QSS or even just going triple offensive with like a Giant Slayer. Pretty much any item that worked on Ashe is going to do pretty good on Xayah. Now moving on to the last build, which is going to be an Sol carry build. Here we have 3 Fable to give us a lot of power, CC power, and kind of a Nico as a somewhat of a backup carry. We have 3 Magen, which is really good with Sol as he will target people after hitting them with Blood Spell and then dealing even more damage to them with the second casting. Getting both those casts right away is really good. We also have 3 Dragon Sol, so that when Braum dies, Sol is going to get the stacks and just gives him even more damage and some attack speed so that he can cast again quicker. So the different variations of this build, if you get a Mage chosen, you can take out Zilean and then put in Annie to get 5 Mage, which is a new power spike. This again just gives you more damage, and Annie is a decent frontliner as well. And if you get a Dragon Soul chosen, you can take out Zilean, Nico, and Nautilus, and you can put in Swain, Morgana, and Shyvana for 6 Dragon Soul and 2 Siphoner. This again is really great for Aurelion Sol. Dragon Soul in general just gives him more damage, and 2 Siphoner lets him heal up after he's casted, and the Morgana pool again shreds the MR of the enemy team, which is great for Aurelion Sol as he's a magic damage carry. Now quickly going over the items for Sol, he wants at least 1 mana item, which is going to be either Spear of Sojin and Blue Buff. Sojin is a bit better as he has a higher mana pool, so he's not going to get as much value out of Blue Buff. Now for the 2 other items, they want to be offensive items. He works very similar to Ahri, so that the same 2 item combos that worked on Ahri are going to work on him. Like his IE and Jewel Gauntlet combo is going to deal a boatload of damage, and it's also a very consistent damage output. But other stuff like just running double death cap or running chalices, even in some cases like a Hajj, is still going to do fine on him. So you have a lot of different options there. Pretty much the same items that worked on Ahri are going to work on him. That's the only thing you need to keep in mind. Thank you so much for watching the video. Also, if you want to join the Discord here, we got a bunch of useful links, and we're also going to be updating with the patch notes that come out on PB. They're going to go in here. We also have over 1,000 people on the server, so you can chat with all of them here and discuss the set 4 PBE cycle as it evolves. So yeah, if you like the video, please drop a like. Also, please consider subscribing. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos as the 4.5 releases to live, and some videos on PBE. Also, comment down below what you want those videos to be, because if you do request a video, there is a high chance that I will make it. So yeah, I'll also leave an Imgur link to all these builds, put them in an Imgur album, and that again will also be on this list of things. So yeah, take care, see you in the next video, and enjoy 4.5 everyone.